purpose. God has a plan. I'm living His will. He's got me in His hands. I'm chilling, chilling, chilling with purpose. God has a purpose. God has a plan. I'm living His will. He's got me in His hands. I'm chilling, chilling, chilling with purpose.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chillin' with Purpose, the broadcast that rescues the heart and the mind. We are so excited. Never you mind that technical difficulty that just suddenly happened. But we are excited. Remember, last month we had to do a switcheroo. And so tonight we actually have Mr. Mark Collin with us, and we are so excited. By profession, he is an installation technician, and that is someone that does our water lines, does the installing of the water and the CO2 so that we can enjoy the pleasures that we enjoy. I think that's pretty awesome. He's the dad of a son named Zion. I love it. Um, he is originally, y'all, we cousins. He from Pennsylvania and I'm from Ohio. He is from Poconos, Pennsylvania, by way of Colorado Springs, Colorado. What? I call him a hometown chef because I have encountered Mark's culinary skills and I have enjoyed his culinary skills. So he's my personal name for him is the hometown chef. He is also embarking on being a diversified business owner. So he's going to put his hands into like the restaurant business, some power washing, being a contractor of some sort, just actually just spreading out his revenue so he can get a good residual income. And I think that's exciting. So you guys, let's just tune in, get your ears ready, get your heart ready to so be impacted by this young man's story. Mark, we are so glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Pastor Cat. I appreciate the introduction.
You are welcome. So tell us about your story of redemption and restoration.
Of course. So like you said, my name is Mark. I think for me, everything started off when I was fairly young. I was very close with both my grandparents. My grandfather died when I was pretty young, and I feel like that impacted me a lot, and for how the rest of me growing up kind of went. After that, we moved from the outskirts of Philly up to the Poconos, and from there, it was just very difficult for me to fit in growing up. I was a very rambunctious child. I was always getting into mischief. I always liked to act out Rugrats because that was one of my favorite cartoons. And unfortunately, although one of the times I was playing and I was being watched, I unfortunately had an injury that caused me to go to the hospital. And the medication I was put on was misread, unfortunately, and I was put on an adult dosage of a steroid as when I was 8. And so from there, it kind of affected me to eat a lot. I kind of grew a lot bigger for my age. And so that kind of affected me in school. I kind of ran into a lot of bullying and just, I guess, just trouble fitting in general, just at that age. And ever since then, I really did my best to go through school trying to help people. I figured since I wasn't always the best to fit in, maybe I was the best to help people. So I always went through school just trying to help and just in whatever way I could, whether it be a new student or, just someone that needed, someone to walk with them to the nurse's office. And then as I progressed in school, I ended up getting into football. Football was a big part of what I did in middle school. I enjoyed it a lot, and I really wanted to try and pursue that into college and into and hopefully as a career at some point. Um, I will say, unfortunately, as a teenager, I did give into peer pressure. I did fall in with the wrong crowd. I started drinking. I started smoking marijuana. I started abusing prescription pills, unfortunately, and that led me into not being able to keep up with the rest of the team, and just not thinking that football was really going to get me to where I wanted to be in life. And so I stopped pursuing it as hard as I wanted to in eighth grade. And then from eighth grade going into my freshman year of high school, I just I can't put my thumb on exactly what happened in that transition of that year, but me and my dad started getting into it quite a bit. We would get into fist fights, and that would get pretty bad. Police would get called, and from there, it affected me in school. I would always go into school trying to be, the toughest person. I always had people trying to get me back into football, and really trying to push me to get back into the sports. But I always turned it down, and I kind of started turning more towards, I guess, the street life. I found the fast money, the drugs, the alcohol, and just everything like that was more appealing than putting in the hard work and the possibility of reaching the NFL, or possibly getting where I wanted to be in college without blowing out my knee or my ACL. So I started pursuing that, and unfortunately that led me into a lot of bad spots growing up. There was a couple situations where I had guns or knives pulled on me as a teenager. There was a couple situations where I had to pull a gun or a knife on people, and it wasn't pleasant things that unfortunately that I had to go through. But with that being said, I I funny enough didn't really think I was going to make it to 21, but after I did, I was really grateful at the time. But that's kind of later on. Uh, After I got really involved in the street life, I really started debating on going from selling pills and marijuana to possibly selling heroin and things like that. And luckily at that time, that's when I had met my wonderful wife and I had my son. And it was at that moment I knew I needed to make everything stop. I mean, there was a good little gap of time in between that I really realized that this wasn't what I wanted to do, but ultimately it was her and him that really made me realize that it wasn't the life I wanted. I really wanted to be a dad, and I really want to be the person I want growing up. And I I took the leap and came out here. I moved to Colorado in 2015, and in 2015, I guess I should backtrack. Also have been working since I was maybe about 12, 15 years old. I started doing plumbing and odd jobs in my neighborhood.
Hmm.
But as that continued, yeah, I moved out here in 2015, and ever since then I haven't looked back really. I said goodbye to everybody I knew, and I really just put forth the effort into wanting to make a change because I didn't want to wind up, in jail or really getting hurt. So I moved out here, and ever since then, I've been really pushing myself to make a difference and to really see things differently. With how I grew up, I just grew up in an environment where I wasn't able to really afford very much, and where the people that could afford much were the people that sold the drugs. And so it just really taught me that I didn't want to be that person, and I wanted to be the person that had the money without having to be locked up for 20 plus years. And so I got out here. I was lucky enough to move in with Miss Sandra and Jordan. And ever since then, it's been a blessing after a blessing. I've had some rough patches since I've moved out here. I was homeless for a short period of time, but even then, I I was blessed to come out of that. And I was always going from job to job, but I'm grateful now that I'm in a job that I can see myself being in for a while and actually moving up in. I've been grateful that I've had my son to, help me through a lot of the rough situations and a lot of the tumultuous times that I've gone through, and my wonderful wife that honestly, I feel like she never gets enough credit for everything she does for me. Um, but if it wasn't for them, I honestly don't know where I would be. And it really means a lot. It really means a lot. And I'm grateful to have gone from a place of honestly not knowing when or how I was going to get my first vehicle to I was able to get my first vehicle. My wonderful wife was there to help me co-sign for it. We were able to get her a vehicle. We've gotten her two vehicles since then. We're about to get a house, and I've been very, very blessed to keep moving forward in life and not to have to go back. And yeah, I guess that's me. And in the sum of it, I probably skipped over some things that I'll remember later, but that's really a lot of what I can remember.
That is so beautiful. So I have some questions. First of all, I don't know what that is.
What was that?
Thank you for sharing your story
Yeah, of course.
in a nutshell, but it was a beautiful story in a nutshell. Um, you said something when you were talking about when you got sick at 8 and they gave you the wrong medicine.
Yeah.
So how long did it take before they figured out this is the wrong medicine and we need to do the right one, or what did that look like?
I want to say, I'll be honest, I was too young to really remember the time frame,
Okay.
but my mom really noticed the difference in my eating and just a difference in me personally. She noticed I would, have slight trembles. I was eating
Mhm.
more than I used to. I was I was holding weight more than I was, running it off because I was always outside. So
Okay. Okay. So then you had moved from like when you were taking the steroids and being bullied and things of that nature, how
mm,
it caused you really like flipped being bullied into becoming a man of strength. That's what I heard, a young man of strength. As you were telling that story, do you remember when you began to walk in your identity?
no, not exactly. I always kind of knew that I didn't like how I was treated. And so in return, I just kind of wanted to make sure other people got treated better. And I was just always really protective over the people I was close to. So I always just tried to make sure they were okay.
Nice. I like it. I like it. In the short time that you played football,
Mm.
how do you think that that began to play a part in you overcoming some obstacles in life?
Um, so I feel like when I started playing football in middle school, it wasn't exactly me overcoming anything as of yet. I would say it was definitely me trying to find myself and find what I really loved to do in life. And football was something I was really passionate about for a long time.
Okay, that's cool. How did you meet your wife?
What was that?
How did you meet your wife?
Actually, I usually leave that story up to her, but we met over spring break.
Okay. So had you come to Colorado on spring break and you all
Yes,
met? Okay.
yes, yes,
Nice. So
yes.
you said when you met her, that caused you to start the turning point.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to
So
me about that. What was it that made you like, listen, I got to get it together here?
so I want to say a big part of the turning point, and I'm pretty sure I skipped over this, but I at one point I was addicted to opioids, prescription painkillers, any kind of antidepressants or anything like that. I would do them, and after a while, I noticed I was losing a lot of weight. I noticed if I didn't, take something, I would feel sick, and it just wasn't something I wanted. And then, I was very harsh on myself growing up. I never thought I was going to meet such a lovely woman like my wife and have such a amazing child like my son. So I really wasn't too worried about it. But when I had met them, it kind of really showed me that I was wrong about myself, and I really needed to give myself the benefit of the doubt and really try harder than what I was, because if not, then I wasn't going to be around to enjoy the things I have enjoyed in life.
Wow, that is so wonderful. That's beautiful. So it was something about your wife and son that clicked in you like, I'm better than this.
Yeah.
And then you started going the journey. How long was the journey to come out of the addiction? Because some people, it takes them a really long time. Some maybe not as long. It's a fight to not be addicted to something. How long was your fight of recovery?
Years, and it's still ongoing. So addiction isn't something, I'll be honest, addiction, depression, anxiety, mental health issues, those are something that people have to deal with every single day. And no matter how hard they fight or they pray, or, they take their medication religiously, it's still something they have to deal with. And, even though all those things help ease it, it's still something they have to wake up to. And, I guess my recovery process really started before I met my wife. I had just decided I'm tired of feeling sick all the time. I At one point I was just throwing up every morning until I took something. So at one point I just stopped. I just stopped taking anything and everything. I didn't even take aspirin or ibuprofen. I didn't. If it came in a tablet form, I didn't want it. And it was just for the simple fact of I didn't want to, give myself that urge again. And so I just kind of closed myself off from a lot of people. And I will say for a while that worked. I did have some slip ups every here and there when I was younger. But once I met my wife and my son and I moved out here and I really cut ties with everything and everybody, and I had nobody to know or to call or to ask for anything from, that was it. I that was it. There was no, okay, well, I can do this. No, that was it. And that was part of the reason why I really wanted to leave where I was living. Was I just wanted to make the jump and make myself better.
Awesome. Oh, I love it. I love it. Sandra, you've got to be so proud of this young man, your son-in-law. Whoop, whoop.
I am very, very proud of Mark, because I always say the Mark that I met and the Mark now, listen, it's a totally different person. 100. I'm serious. 100. Totally different. He loves my daughter. He loves his son. He loves his family. He loves us. I will vouch for him any day. He protects his. One thing I also love about Mark is he's very protective of his family. When it comes to Anna and Zion, trust me, there's nobody that can bump up to them, or I'm serious. He, in a second, he
Yes.
could see you coming all the way down and know that's trouble coming. And yes, but it will never reach Zion and Anna.
I love
That's
it.
how protective he is when it comes to them. And I love that. I love that about him and how he vouches for them. And I'm not just saying this, I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
He is very protective and takes care to the best of his ability when it comes to his family. So I'm proud to say that he is my son-in-law.
Thank you so much, Miss Sandra.
You're welcome.
That is awesome. All right, y'all got some questions? I didn't see nobody unmute. I'm not the only co-host on here. Okay, so you said something about a dad. Y'all know that dead space. I can't do it. Y'all got a question? No
So
response.
I was gonna ask, have you restored your relationship with your father, or is that still um rocky?
I'm actually really happy you asked about that, because I definitely skipped over that. Since my childhood, me and my father have been doing really fantastic. I've I have well have I have well, that either way that didn't sound right, but I have gone to therapy as well, and I learned a lot about myself, and it has helped me to be able to relate back to my father, and help me understand, you know, the mental and emotional struggles he went through, um because we do have similar things in common when it does come to mental health. And so it helps me see a lot of the issues he had, a lot of the barriers we've had, and it's honestly allowed me to forgive him. A lot of me growing up and a lot of me moving away is I've forgiven a lot of people for a lot of things, and not just, oh, I say I forgive you, but I'm still a little upset. No, I really don't hold a grudge against any person in my family for any single thing that's happened, because it's all happened for a reason. And at the end of the day, I love all of them, and I want to see all of them be just as successful as me.
Okay. So another question, how were you prescribed the pills that got you addicted, or were you like at school, or
Um, That's actually a really good question. So it was a little bit of all three. Unfortunately, I had them left out, and I just took them without permission. Sometimes I had kids at school give them to me, and then other times, um, I was kind of a smart aleck kid, and I kind of played the system. And I'm sure, as everybody knows, Philadelphia is kind of known for its opioid pandemic and its heroin pandemic. It's been a very, very rough thing that the city has had to go through, and it's not just our city. It's a lot of people and a lot of places that's had to go through this. But unfortunately, our city is widely known for it, and a lot of the issues was our hospitals. Our hospitals were not very strict on trying to, prescribe other medications. They were just very quick to, you know, here's some painkillers, you're good to go. Oh, your prescription's empty, you're still hurting, we'll refill it. Nope, we don't need to see you. So it was a lot. It was a lot that added up to me being able to acquire those pills.
I have a question. You
Yeah.
said that I think when you never felt like you fit in.
Yeah.
How is it now? How do you handle that part? Do you still feel the same way, or have you come to a place where you probably dealt with it, or you just look at it like that's the way life is? You know,
So
Mhm.
so that's actually really interesting. So the way I kind of see it now in life, when does anybody ever really feel like they fit in? There's always a situation, a new moment, or a change that happens that will make you feel uncomfortable, that will make you feel like you don't fit in. You could be hanging out with someone you've known for 5 years, and their childhood best friend flies in for a visit, and now you feel like you don't even know the person. That makes you feel like you don't fit in. But in all reality, like you said, Miss Sandra, it comes down to, sometimes that's life. And you gotta, you just, as you grow older, you learn to adapt and to find common ground with the new situation, the new people, and so on and so forth, like that.
That's a very, very good answer, because it's the truth. Every
Yeah.
day there's news, and yeah, that's no comment here. So you talk about you have a son, which is
Yeah,
my handsome grandson. I want
of
every world
course.
to know. Mm, mm. Okay, so seeing that you were bullied, is that a concern for you as you see Zion in school? Is that a concern of him being bullying? And then how would you prepare him to handle that situation? Because that is something that's common in schools now.
So, when it comes to bullying and things of that nature, because as the years have progressed, I feel like there's more than just bullying to worry about now in schools, and the just a lot of the school shootings that have happened and things of that nature. It comes down to you now don't only have to talk to your child about bullying, but now you have to explain to your child about other situations that can come up in a school situation. And honestly, I want to say it, some of the conversations have been easier than others. And with a lot of that being the bullying's really easy to talk about. It's as simple as someone's rude to you, someone's mean to you, you tell them stop. That's first time. Second time, you let them know. If they don't stop, you talk to the teacher. You're going to talk to the teacher. Third time, you talk to the teacher, you let your parents know. And it's conversations like that that are simple. Those are the easy ones that every parent has honestly had some kind of background in. There was always that one kid that probably wasn't nice to you in school, so you're able to talk to your child and relate to your child on that kind of level. But with the new things arising with like the school shootings now, those are a lot harder topics to talk to your child about. And there's even companies going so far as to make Kevlar backpacks to help protect children in those worst case scenarios. There's parents now that go out and buy their kids cell phones when they're 8 years old, 7 years old, and tell their kids, my number is in the phone, mom, dad, you call us if emergency happens at school. And those are the conversations that tend to be a bit harder.
Yes, I agree. Um, you have anything, Selena? Oh,
Well, actually, before she goes, I was going to say, in regards to that, conversations about bullying and things of that nature
Mhm.
is a lot harder and different.
yes.
You're almost like kind of stuck. Like, how do I present this? Because back in the day, you could just say, "Look, he hit you. You hit him back.
Yes.
Go tell the teacher I'm on my way." You can't do that now. It's like,
I have to be honest. I still kind of have that same mentality because I believe things are looked at just a little too deeply nowadays. Granted, there are situations that do cause things to be looked at a little deeper, but at the same time, I don't see a reason for things to change so drastically. I do teach my child that you do handle things diplomatically, but if a child swings on you, you do not let yourself get hurt.
right.
That's a complete different scenario. But there was another part of what you said that I wanted to touch on. I just can't remember it. You said about the that's what it was. So another thing I've also had to take into a lot of consideration lately is the fact that my son is mixed. He is part white and part black. And that is as well a conversation that I've unfortunately have had to talk to him about. And it's been a little difficult for me at times to understand both sides because I am a white guy. But I am lucky enough that I do have friends that are black, and I can talk to, and they can explain to me both sides of the coin, if that's the right saying to use. But I do get to understand things just a little bit better, and it does help seeking out other men that can help teach me the knowledge I need to teach my child.
That is such a great point, Mark. And let me tell you why. Because sometimes when you are in a mixed relationship, people don't think that they need outside help because they think that they know everything. You know, my mom was black, my father was both Indian and Spanish, but
Mhm.
even though they were still different, and it's a different culture and it's a different, so sometimes there are things that you don't know. So I am proud of you saying that you go outside because you realize that you are a Caucasian man, you
Oh
are
yeah,
white,
yeah.
and that, you have a black wife with a mixed son, that some things that you still have to learn,
Oh
or you
yeah.
still have to, so I think that is very, that was a very good statement. You get A's for that.
I appreciate it. And one thing I do want to stress too is to any dads that might see this is just make sure you reach out to other dads. I feel like there is a weird stigmatism when it comes to, men should be a certain type of way, men should carry a certain type of weight. But we all need to look out for each other. And if any dads ever need, any kind of advice, I'd be happy to help. And I'm sure any other men around you would be happy to help. Just ask.
That is so awesome. Okay, go ahead, Celine. Oh, look, your wife done gave you 4 hearts. Mark, you done got 4 hearts. Go ahead, Selena.
No, I was gonna say I like that. Because like you said, like men just get a certain kind of reputation sometimes, and like you say, especially like you say, just coming from two different, backgrounds or whatever, and just like you say, looking at both sides of the picture. I like that. Um, and then just having both perspectives. And just having that conversation with him, and even so he can see both perspectives, and having that. And just, yeah, that's so awesome. That's so amazing. I love
Thank
it. I
you.
love it. So how have those conversations been easy, or have those conversations been hard?
Um, Yes and no. So they're easier because of course he's younger, so it's easy just to say, sometimes people don't like people for whatever reason, whether it be their skin color, eye color, your hair is too long, your hair is too short, you have no hair. Who knows? Who cares? But at the end of the day, some people just don't like other people. And if that person just happens not to like you, your mom, your dad, your nanny, your papa, your best friend, then guess what? You don't need to associate with that person. You get to choose who you have in your life and who you don't have in your life. And if you choose to, cut out anybody that, decides to talk negative, then that's what you choose. And I will always support you. If you choose to try and help someone, even though they speak negative upon, I don't know, themselves or other situations, because you see so much good in that person, I'll support you through that too. No matter what, I'll always support my son though in what he does.
Good. I like that.
Loving it, loving it. Anybody else have any other questions? So, Mark, you had, when you were briefly talking about your relationship with your dad, then
Yeah.
I heard you say, I wanted to be the dad to my son, basically, that you didn't get. Was that correct? Did I hear that right?
Um, yeah, yes and no, because
Okay.
I want to say partially yes, because my dad was a great person. He really did try. My dad wasn't into sports as much as he was into working with his hands and working with plumbing or contracting. So I got to learn a lot of stuff like that. And with that being said though, when I say I want to be a better father towards my son, by that I mean I want to give him the opportunities I wasn't able to get for
Okay.
whatever reasons. And I also want to try and focus more on more on not as much of I guess old school parenting, as you would say, just being, the stern, this is how it is, this is the way it is because I said so. And instead, uh um I can't lie, I'm gonna get more brownie points, but my wonderful wife has taught me, my wonderful wife has taught me to really just to open up and to listen more, and to really just try to not be so quick to be, I'm the parent, this is how it has to be, and just to kind of, I guess, open up more. I guess open up more.
That's good. That's good. So, what have you seen yourself? I think I just turned myself off. What have you seen yourself do differently as a father?
I will say differently as a father. I would say that's actually a really good question. I will say, as a father, I've really tried to listen more. That is the main thing, and I feel like listening more comes the rest of the things that make a dad even better, and that is, when a situation arises, whether the kiddo draws on the wall, the kiddo kicks a ball and it breaks the brand new TV. I guess my main thing is I've learned to not have to raise my voice. I don't have to raise my voice. I don't have to do these certain things that I was used to growing up. I don't have to. I don't even really utilize timeouts. I tell them, go think about what could have been different. Sit there and think about it. Yeah, granted, I tell him no TV, no video games, but that's because I want him to sit there and really focus on those actions. I can't lie. I used to be a spanker. Thanks again to my wife, I don't spank anymore. I talk. That's a big thing. I talk, and those great things that we got you, granted, Xbox, whatever it is. Those things are privileges. Those things are earned. They're not rights. I can take those all away and you'll be just as upset. So.
All right. And discipline is important, finding the right discipline that works.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a child that a spanking doesn't work, then you're wearing yourself out on a spanking.
Exactly.
If I take your possessions and you melt, I found my niche. Yeah, so
that's exactly it.
There is a discipline, and I know some people may not like that, but there's a level of a rod, if you will, and you got to find what that rod is that works, that causes them to line up.
Yep, and you always have to remember there's that knob that you can turn it up or down, just in case anybody forgets.
That's it. I like that. One of our viewers said that it's a blessing. In having a biracial son, the blessing is the fact that there are grandparents on both sides so that he can have the joy of having the best of both worlds.
Oh, yes. Yes, I will definitely say that's for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, co-hosts, y'all have anything else?
Oh, yeah. So how is you said that you reach a place in your life when it comes to like your job, which I know that you love. How do you adjust that? How do you adjust? Because you spoke earlier about working nights. How do you adjust that with your family life, like being there for your family with your new job, seeing that you guys are very into family and doing outings and being together and all those fufu stuff?
Yeah. So, right. So actually, that's actually a really good question. I will say, I'm not always working nights. There are some weeks where I do work days, and those weeks I am very happy about because I get to be home and by a certain time and, get to hang out with my wife and my son and get to enjoy all those things. But the days that I do work overnights, I just do my best to still feel included. I try to call around dinner time, or they try and call me around dinner time. If I happen to be eating, I'll usually eat with them. If I don't get to do that, then I'll usually get a phone call for bedtime. If I'm not too caught up with work, I'll make sure I always make sure I get the phone call for bedtime. And then after that, I just try to make sure I just send out messages throughout the night. And then even with that, I'll have to say I'm still adjusting to having to work some of these overnights. Some of these overnights can be pretty long. I think one of the longest overnights I've worked was 20 hours, and so it was definitely a challenge to try and find time. But luckily, Anna has been so amazing as to as well find time out of her busy schedule to come sit with me even if I am asleep, or just talk to me about her day until I fall asleep. And we just do our best to try and talk in between of all those times that I'm either, middle of working or I'm trying to catch up on a little bit of rest.
Oh, go ahead.
I was not going to tell Mark. I heard you talk about your dad,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard you talk about your mom.
Oh, well, that's because honestly, me and my mom, we had a very fantastic relationship growing up. She was a big support for me, and I owe a lot of me. Honestly, I owe me being out here to her and my wonderful aunt. God bless her soul. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have came out for my visit in spring break. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to really love it as much as I do out here. And she was her and the rest of my family just were a huge support. And the only reason I didn't really bring her up is because my wonderful mother, I moved her out here from Pennsylvania maybe about 4 or 5 years ago now. And so I still get to see her every day. And, our relationship still has its up and downs, but, we're still getting through it. So I just, I guess I kind of took that for granted.
I know sometimes when people are with us 24/7, we tend to not so much not appreciate them, but sometimes they are least in our conversation because they're always there, like you say, compared to your
Yeah.
dad who is still who is in Philly. So
Yeah.
yes, his mom is wonderful. So
Yeah,
yes.
she is. She's a fantastic person. Honestly, I learned a lot of my giving traits from her. She'd give the shirt off her back to a person that needed it.
That is awesome. Awesome. And I know that your beautiful wife is listening. And today, was that still your first day on the job, Anna? If you're still tuning in, just send us a message to let us know how your first day went.
I hope it was great, babe.
Yes. Okay. She said yes. And did you have a good first day? It was good. That's good. We're so happy for you all. So happy. Anything else from our co-hosts?
Yes, I have another question.
Mhm.
So you said that you did mention with your anxiety, you mentioned anxiety and the different things that you struggle with. Do you still struggle with that today? And are you getting help for it?
So that's actually a really great question. I will say, when I was going to therapy, they told me I have something called BPD, and it's actually something that a lot of people have, but actually gets misdiagnosed as schizophrenia and or borderline personality disorder. Wait, no, sorry, not that. Sorry, backtrack. But yes, they misdiagnose it for schizophrenia a lot. But basically, it's something I have to deal with every day. It causes me to just be unsure about some things. It causes me sometimes to, have my emotions go up and down, and yeah, it's just something that I work with. Unfortunately, right now, with my busy schedule, I've been procrastinating on making sure I maintain the help that I have received from it. But I've actually been looking into going back and receiving more therapy here soon.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so have you received like a lot of vitriol regarding your mixed race baby and your wife? Like any type of negative things coming to you or your wife or your son?
I will say there's been occasions where we felt like it's come into play. And of course, there's always been the rude person that doesn't, that's not the happiest about you slowing down to make a turn. So there's those small situations, but besides that, there's been maybe a few situations where we felt like it really has impacted us. Maybe it has been the service at a restaurant. Maybe it's been we've noticed our son maybe gets a little bit more attention or is criticized a little bit harsher. Even at that, we do feel like at times there's a certain presence or just there's a certain way you need to present yourself when you are an interracial couple, because as my wife touched on it, she was a pregnant Black teen, and that was something that was hard for her. And now going into that, I was a kid with a troubled past, and now we're coming together, and there's a certain stereotype that you just try to make sure that you don't present.
Yeah.
That is cool. What's, I guess, sad and interesting is it's 2023.
Yes.
I feel like that's all I need to say.
Yeah.
2023. But I'm going to keep talking. We still tripping on the color of people's skin and who people select to spend the rest of their lives with. I think that is so crazy. Or like it's good for one, like it's more common for a chocolate man to date a vanilla man, but it's not as common for a chocolate woman to be with a vanilla man. So there's still that, what you doing? Come on, y'all. There are some people that'll go, they only want this certain color of people because that's their preference, is just color. It has nothing to do with personality or nothing. And then there's just, I fell in love with you for you, and you just happen to be this color. There are more of those people.
Yes.
Than there are the color preference people. But I'm just still amazed that it's 2023 and we're still tripping on stuff like that.
On minor things.
I feel like it has a lot to do with, unfortunately, parents not addressing that situation, and then I'll say just things coming in and out of trend and kids not understanding it. That's one thing I make sure to instill in my son is it doesn't matter who you love, when you love them, none of that matters. As long as you love them and you care for that person, I'll always be happy about it.
That's good. That's good. Good teaching. Good teaching. So, Mark, before we leave for the evening, what would you like to leave or say to men that are coming behind you and that may be in the same walk that you're in? What would you say to encourage them?
Honestly, just reach out, ask for the help. Stop trying to do it on your own. Everybody does it on their own. Not everybody can reach out for that help. Make sure you take the support systems you have, even if they're small. Not everybody needs a team of 20 people to support them. Sometimes you just have to rely on that one, whether that be a friend, a loved one, or a significant other. Even if it's your dog, your goldfish, just find someone to rely on and just someone to open up to, because you don't have to bear all the weight.
Yeah.
I love it. That is beautiful. You all, Mark got put on the shift again, and so he's actually taking his lunch break, and I want him to be able to enjoy maybe the last 10 minutes of his lunch to hang out with us to do this interview. So, Mark, we are so glad that you came with us today. I pray that the rest of your work night and day is wonderful and prosperous. And we just speak the blessings of the Lord upon you and your family, and that he so orders your step according to his will, because his will is always greater than our own will. And that you see God moving like never before, that he opens the eyes of your understanding so that you will see clear, and that more and more as you are living this life, that you understand you are worthy of every blessing that you get, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 Thank you so much, and I appreciate the opportunity.
You are so welcome, sir. And so if you need to sign off, you can at any time. I'm going to put these ladies to work because they need to announce their upcoming events before we completely sign off.
Of course. Well, thank you guys so much, and you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you later, Miss Sandra.
Okay. Bye, Mom.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So how do we start this? August, September's first. September, October, November. Hit it. Let's go.
All right, Saturday, September 2023, we have the Power Conference 2023. It'll be from 10 to 2 at 3001 South Acoma Street in Inglewood, Colorado. The theme is Treasure in Earthen Vessels from the scripture 2 Corinthians 4:7. The speakers are Pastor Curlette Jordan, wonderful, dynamic, Minister Cameron Jones, and Elder Deshaun Pendleton. The price is $30. That $30 includes a continental breakfast, lunch, and conference materials. Now, the ways to pay, you can pay by Cash App, $ Pastor Maggie JB. My online store, that once I post the flyer, you'll be able to go to the online store. A lot of people don't like to go to the online store because it charges a tax. It's $30 plus tax at the online store. Or you can Zelle Magdalene JB Ministries at gmail.com. I will post the flyer and all of this information on our page once I get the flyer back from the person I paid to do the flyer. And so all of that information will be available on our page, my page, the Chillin' page, as well as on MagdaleneJBMinistries.com, MJBMinistries.com.
Amen. And I think I missed the actual day. It's September
16th, 2023.
2023 at 10 o'clock a.m. So that information will be forthcoming. Let us know if you have any questions while they're doing these announcements, and we can answer them for you before we sign off. All right, October.
Hello, everyone. Well, I have my prophetic symposium. And if you want to know what the word symposium means, Google it.
I love it.
It will give you the definition. And let me tell you why I said that. I said that because, I think God wants to challenge us sometimes that when we don't know something, to search it out. Like how the word tells us sometimes to search out the scripture or search out a thing. Anyway, my prophetic symposium is going to be October 13th through the 15th. And it is free. So that's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you want to, registration is open, and it is at www.chillingwithpurpose.com. And if you befriend me, which is Sandra Jordan, or on Chilling with Purpose, then you will be able to register on it. If you have any question, I am right there on Facebook. You can messenger me. Also, not only that, I also have a class that will be starting February. Oh my God, it's not February. I'm going way back. Anyway, June 9th, it's going to be a prophetic class, and it's going to be every second and fourth Friday. And guess what? It's on Zoom. So if you want to, you can check that out. Again, it will be on Chilling with Purpose. And I would love to have you guys, so come out free. Just remember, it's free. Oh, and there is food. I have a evening lunch on Friday, And then Saturday, we also have another lunch. And then Sunday, it's the same thing. And don't come because of the food. That's not what I'm saying. I just think it's going to be a great experience. If you want to learn anything about the prophetic, it will be a great opportunity for you to come, learn. You can also ask questions, and then you can also get prayed. So that's it. We're October 13th through the 15th.
Yes, and just so you know, you must register to attend.
Oh, yes.
We have to do things in excellence. Look, she
She
needs
missed it.
more than food for the Zoom.
class.
Oh, yes.
The food that you bring.
Exactly. Yes. LOL.
That is hilarious. But you have to register for her free event, the Prophetic Symposium. One, we have to make sure we have enough. Well, you know what? You have to register because we've requested for you to register. So if you don't register and you show up, you may be asked to turn back around. So please, registration is free. The whole thing is free. We just need you to register. So that's for the October event. All right, November.
So November 9th through the 12th, we're having a conference, Daughters of Zion Healed. The conference is for women to come and begin the process of being healed from trauma. And currently registration is $100 if you sign up by May 31st, and there is a payment plan option available. And your registration costs will cover your conference materials, your t-shirt, and your breakfast and your lunch. And you can sign up by sending an email to daughtersofzionhealed@gmail.com.
Awesome. And I think you have a question. Sandra, did I see your hand go up?
Oh, yes. I also wanted the audience to know for my prophetic symposium, I'm also going to do online. So if other people from other countries or other states cannot be there, it will also be online, but you have to be registered. It would not be on Facebook Live.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, y'all got our announcements that are coming forth. I also want to say next Tuesday, we will be doing live prayer. So we are taking your prayer requests. So get your requests ready. And I want you to know, in the 4 years that we have been doing this, when we stop and periodically do the live prayer, we have gotten awesome testimonies. And so one is just a reminder that prayer is the thing for us to do. And so it's helped keep us going in these 4 years when things got lean and mean at times. So live prayer will be next Tuesday's broadcast at 6:00. We love you, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Bye-bye.
God has a purpose. God has a plan. I'm living his will. He's got me in his hands. I'm chilling with purpose. God has a purpose. God has a plan. I'm living his will. He's got me in his hands. I'm chilling with